It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog.
You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
This is Where You Live with Gene and Tony, and we're broadcasting from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios. We're brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. As an American Family Insurance agent, Kim believes that there's much more to insurance than the policy itself. It's about providing you with dependable protection and services. Kim believes that trust and credibility can't be demanded. It can only be earned by what you say and what you do. Call Kim at 651-482-1598 and tell her Gene and Tony sent you. It's time now for a message from the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. The MHA Minute is brought to you by Start to Finish Maintenance Contractors. Start to Finish provides 24-hour service for all of your home and business maintenance needs. Call Start to Finish at 952-259-1219 for your home, for your business, for your peace of mind.
Some of the benefits of successful property management. Are you ready? On-time payment of rent, improved resident quality, stabilized income, reduced turnover, controlled expenses, improved financial performance, less property wear and tear, allowance for property improvements, enhanced property value, being proactive, not reactive, better relationships with neighbors, fewer police calls, creating a community, being a great neighbor. These are some of the benefits of good property management. And whether you run a townhome association or you are renting out your condo, duplex, or 100-plus unit building, membership with the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association gives you the tools you need to run your business effectively while minimizing the headaches. Don't be a good landlord, be a great one. Visit www.mmha.com. That's two M's, mmha.com.
So, Gene, we're talking about Loudoun County, Virginia, correct?
That's right.
Where they want to overturn 150 years of real estate law with nationwide ramifications. Because the county,
it may be to their political careers.
Maybe ramifications to their political careers, because the county has realized what it's going to cost them if they take over tax delinquent property.
Yes, so the county is finally realizing, or the county government, so government's finally realizing what the homeowner association industry has realized for the last 6-7 years.
That's right.
With the real estate bubble popping. What the mortgage company has just been dealing with over the last number of years. And now they're saying, hey, wait a minute. If we take back the property, now we're going to have to pay? That's not fair.
That's not right. Why should we have to pay because some third-party jerk defaulted on his taxes and his homeowners association fees?
And this person probably purchased the home to begin with because the government stepped in and said we need to make loans more accessible to people.
We want more homeowners.
Even though they can't afford them.
Man.
You know, so government created, and then government's now saying, wait a minute.
They're starting to suffer some of the unintended consequences,
and they don't want to. But this is what government does.
Yeah.
So well. And that is not doing anything well. Well, they do a few things well, but you know, I am amazed here at what we call the knee-jerk politics that goes on every year with every legislature, where a legislator said, I'll champion that cause, and they don't take the time to stop and to really understand the issue beforehand. I mean, listen to this quote by Matlock, who is the Loudoun County Commission, okay? And I think he is working with McNally with this legislation. And now that they found out that there are homeowners who are opposed, saying, hey, wait a minute, if the county doesn't pick up the costs, that's going to put a burden on HOAs. That's going to probably cause a number of other people to go their property go underwater.
That's right. When you're saying an HOA, you're talking about all the members of that HOA. You're not talking about some evil board of directors. You're talking about all the other homeowners that were in those homeowners associations that are going to have to carry the burden of unpaid assessments.
And these are people who are
actually
honest.
They live in the county, don't they?
Yes, they do. They're honest, good-working folk
That's
that
right.
are probably working very hard to just keep that bottom lip just above the water
That's
line
right.
to keep going. And
Keep
now
their homes, pay their bills, and now they're going to be burdened because their neighbors didn't pay their bills.
So Matlock says, well, now that we realize that there's this other issue with this other entity, now they're doing this tap dance, you know. And like I said, that from that movie Singing in the Rain, instead of Gene Kelly saying, gotta dance, these legislators have got to say, gotta legislate.
That's right.
You know, and so Matlock is real excited. He said, well, we'll make these changes. He said,
Yeah.
because our goal is to have this new legislation ready to drop in January 2014.
Okay, now you and I talked about this. Okay, they want to find a solution to this problem. We came up with a solution that we thought made sense, right?
And it's already there. They don't have to change anything.
They don't have to draft a new law and get it passed through the legislature? And
I don't think so at all.
All right.
And I'd like to explain. And listeners, tell me where I'm wrong with this, okay? Please. I know that. Let me just use first a homeowner association.
Okay.
In a homeowner association, you charge for assessments for services you're providing. You add on late fees and violation
If people don't
charges,
pay, right.
special assessments for,
Right.
for things for the operation. But if something came up because the owner caused the association to have additional fee, that gets added on to the ledger of that homeowner, and they have to pay it.
For that owner. Right.
It's the same thing with the county. The county assesses each homeowner a tax on the property.
Property taxes.
And that
okay.
has to be paid.
All right.
And that's for the services that they provide. So now Loudoun County says a number of people, here's 293 in Teleco Village, that weren't paying from various associations.
They didn't pay their property
So
taxes.
now we are taking back and foreclosing, which means we're going to have to be responsible, which is exactly what the HOA does when they take back. And why do you do it? Not because you want to necessarily make all those extra payments, but because you know that the better idea is to do that so you can get a responsible person, a new person owning the property
Yes.
and moving forward.
Yes.
So
Get
what
a
happens?
new owner in that's going to pay the bills.
So what happens with property taxes? Property taxes have to be paid by when a new owner steps up and takes ownership of the property.
They are a lien on the property, so they stay with the property,
Yes.
correct?
Right.
So that means any new buyer has to pay off those property taxes as part of their purchase deal.
Yes, and so you have the overall assessment. But if there was something special that happened with the street that year in front of that property, the county would pay it, but add it on to that person, the new person who buys the property.
Sure.
Pays the delinquent tax, including that new assessment, moves forward.
Yes.
If the water bill isn't paid, water stays with the property. That gets added on.
That's
to
right.
that gets added on to this amount too, and that has to be paid by the new owner.
Right.
County, why not start making these payments to the HOA? Here's an idea. You don't have to ask for an exemption and say that we're going to lose all this money. What you're going to do is make those payments to those 293 units in that area. And when you get a new owner to the property, that is required to be paid for with the utilities, as with the property tax assessment. I think they already have the ability to do this. They don't want to do it because it doesn't feel right to them, and this is going to burden them. But what they
It's more than that. It's because they don't understand the value of the homeowners association. It's that they're blind to the fact that there is this level of self-government going on that requires their members to support it.
Yes.
And requires their members to pay for their services.
And
they kind of ignore that whole thing.
Yeah, and if all of the delinquencies that are taking place with property because of this real estate bubble, not all of it is being burdened by the county. Some of it is a burden to the banks and the lenders who are
That's
foreclosing.
right. That's
Some
right.
of it is a burden to the HOAs because they take it back.
Yeah, but I want to say again, we're not talking about past due delinquent assessments, which the HOA is going to be forced to eat.
They're going to
or
still have
they
on
have
their
to go
shoulders.
after the old owner.
Yeah.
We're talking about from the date the county takes over the property going forward, they have to pay the assessments
Yes.
for that property. And as you said, they could easily pass that along to the new buyer.
Yes, had this bill gone through, I think what they would have seen in this county would be even worse results, because now they would be putting a burden, like I said, on so many other people who are just good, hardworking folks who are just working hard to just keep going each and every day. But now they would have put that little extra burden that would have caused them to now trip, and now they would lose their property.
Possibly.
And I think Loudon would be looking at a much larger percentage of delinquencies, which is what they don't want to see.
Yeah.
All of this, why? Because a legislator needs to legislate. The purpose of government is not to be efficient. It's to be deliberate, folks. Remember that. Have a great weekend. We're out of time. Thanks for joining us today. We'll look forward to seeing you next weekend on Where You Live.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is
Tough
to be loved by
to say goodbye. Take care now. Bye-bye then.